Master of Second Year Biology Pre-Nurse Major in the Health and Bioscience Institute here at Northeast Lakeview College. Michael served 8 years in the United States Army and was last stationed at Fort Sam Houston here in San Antonio, Texas. Currently, Michael is a work-study student assistant in the Office of Student Life. Michael comes from a military family, as that his father also served in the United States Army. After NLC, Michael's interested in transferring to the University of Texas Health Science Center here in San Antonio. Our mistress of ceremony is Miss Georgia Flores. Georgia is currently serving as the Director of Devising here at Northeast Lakeview College. Ms. Flores was a military spouse of 21 years. During her husband's service in the United States Army, they were stationed in North Carolina, Arizona, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. Georgia has 4 children, with 1 son and 1 daughter who have both served in the United States Army, and has 2 grandchildren. Please help me welcome Mr. Michael Todman and Ms. Georgia Flores to the podium.
On this morning, our community comes together to observe and remember the thousands of victims of the September 11th tragedy 20 years ago. President Joe Biden once quoted, when speaking at the Pentagon 9/11 anniversary commemoration in 2011, "The true legacy of 9/11 is that our spirit is mightier, the bonds that unite us are thicker, and the resolve is firmer." With this program today, not only does the Northeast Lakeview College community come together to give tribute to the memory of those who lost their lives, but to also recognize those who are survivors and to gather to show kindness and unity to a community of first responders, essential healthcare personnel, and frontline community responders who keep us safe every day. Our hearts may feel sorrow at this time, but Deepak Chopra, a prominent author of alternative medicine, shared this thoughtful reflection on how 9/11 has affected many Americans and honors our country's patriotism years later, stating, "For me and my family personally, September 11 was a reminder that life is fleeting, impermanent, and uncertain. Therefore, we must make use of every moment and nurture it with affection, tenderness, beauty, creativity, and laughter. So today, we resolve that we will never forget the sacrifice for justice and peace. We resolve that we will honor the sacred memory of those lost. And we resolve that their deaths, like their lives, will have meaning." Please join me in a moment of silent reflection and prayer for our fallen heroes and friends, and share in our appreciation for our brave men and women affected by the attacks on 9/11, but also those currently impacted by Hurricane Ida. Thank you.
Please allow me to introduce our next guest here, Yvette Harden, who will be singing our national anthem today. Miss Yvette Harden is currently a music major at St. Philip's College, where she represented her college as a member vocalist of the 105th Voices of History, the only national choir for students from historically black colleges and universities, for a virtual recording of the national to commemorate the 90th anniversary of the adoption of the Star-Spangled Banner and the U.S. national anthem. Miss Harden is no stranger to a grand stage. In 2019, she performed during the St. Philip's College Fall 2020 commencement ceremony. Most recently, she participated as a cast member of Bad Mama Jamma remix, Let the Record. The sold-out show took place at Little Carver Theater in March 2021. Yvette previously was an educator for 3 years. She holds a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology and a Master's of Science in Agriculture and Human Science with a concentration in Family and Marriage Therapy, both from Prairie View A&M University. She hopes to blend both educational pathways to practice music therapy. Please stand and remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now I'd like to invite Dr. Tangent Dove, Vice President for Student Success at Northeast Lakeview College, to the podium to honor and recognize this year's recipients of the First Responders Award, Essential Healthcare Personnel Award, and Frontline Community Responders Award for Northeast Lakeview College.
Thank you, Michael. I would like to recognize all community members and friends of the college joining us today. On this morning, our community comes together to observe and remember the tragic events of September 11, 2001, an attack that took the lives of thousands of victims 20 years ago. Today, we not only honor the memory of those who lost their lives, but those who are survivors. I also wish to recognize our local first responders, emergency personnel, and frontline workers for their continued service to the community. As we continue to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic, your service continues to be such an important part of this community. And when the rest of the world starts to slow down, you don't. Your dedication does not go unnoticed. Annually, during the Remembrance ceremony, we recognize a first responder who is integral in keeping the Northeast Lakeview College community safe. Someone who has positively impacted Live Oak, Universal City, or our Northeast Bexar County through their service. This year, we would also recognize an essential healthcare worker and an essential frontline personnel. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Hillel Dorel for his outstanding service to the Northeast Lakeview College and the greater San Antonio community as our first recipient of the First Responders Award. Mr. Hillel Dorel, a licensed paramedic, has been serving the San Antonio community for many years in the emergency medical service. He has worked for a number of private EMS companies and currently works a 911 service south of San Antonio, primarily serving Medina County. He completed his education as a paramedic license at San Antonio College and was subsequently hired to teach there in the EMT program. Hillel epitomizes what many of us believe a paramedic should be. He is never off duty, even when officially he is off duty. Whether he's driving his family to dinner, driving across town, or driving across the country, he will always interrupt whatever activity he is involved in to help anyone in need. This is especially true in serious motor vehicle accidents, gunshot wounds, and other traumatic injuries. He is nearly always first on scene. He is fearless, running toward emergencies rather than away from them. And while never reckless, he is not willing to put himself at risk to render aid or assist police when needed. At work, young medics look up to him and seek out his opinions on serious situations to improve patient outcomes. He has the respect of local doctors as well as that of the community members he serves. He is a regular volunteer with Alamo Regional Bike Medics for events such as the Mama Jama or Ride to the River. In his spare time, he has volunteered to supervise visits for families involved with Child Protective Services, families in high conflict forces, and families with medically fragile children. Please join me as First Responder Awardee.
I can have Mayor Dennis, if she's gonna help me give out these awards.
Morning, folks. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I really don't expect anything like this. This is a big surprise to me. I'm just an ordinary guy doing his job, and like my peers, that's what we do. We love what we're doing. I thank you for recognizing me. I hear the word hero thrown around a lot. I'm not a hero, I'm just doing my job. And if you ask any of my peers, they'll tell you the same thing, we're just doing our job. The real heroes are the folks who went up in the towers knowing that they probably wouldn't come back, and they went up anyway. That's a real hero. But we'll always respond, and when the call comes, we'll go. And I promise you, when you call, we will come every time. Thank you very much, guys.
Next, we would like to recognize the Kellum Family Medicine for their outstanding service to Northeast Lakeview College and the greater San Antonio community as recipient of the Essential Healthcare Personnel Award. This healthcare provider was nominated for this group's willingness to ensure Northeast Lakeview College were able to receive the COVID-19 vaccine during the spring 2021 semester. As a result of their efforts, NLC faculty and staff members were given a peace of mind that they could safely return to the NLC campus to continuing to provide face-to-face services for our students. This initiative, provided by Kellum Family Medicine Healthcare Group, also not only assisted NLC with protecting themselves and our Alamo College's family, as well as served as one of the 6 steps an NLC employee can take to fulfill the hashtag Alamo Together pledge, encouraged by the Alamo College District. Please help me to congratulate Kellum Family Medical Healthcare Group, our 2021 Essential Healthcare Personnel Awardee.
Just want to say we're very honored and humbled to be recognized with this wonderful award, especially in the presence of such great protectors of our community. Giving vaccines was our little part that we could do to contribute to really kind of provide safety and protection to our community. My staff, Michelle, Gabe, in our practice, as well as help from Dean Fanning, State Senator Roland Gutierrez, allowed us to give almost 10,000 vaccines within the city of San Antonio, and it was with great pride and pleasure that we were able to do that. Certainly, we are honored for this award, and will always be here, much as these wonderful protectors and first responders are, if ever the need rises again. Thank you very much.
Award for this morning for the Frontline Community Responders Award recognizes Ike Agidi for his outstanding service to the Northeast Lakeview College and the greater San Antonio. Mr. Ike Agidi was nominated for the award because of his dedication as an HEB worker at the HEB located on Kellum. During the entire pandemic, Ike continued to faithfully push carts literally in the Texas sun and rain to ensure that local customers can get the items they need at HEB, and he bagged groceries. With every visit, I
blessed and thankful for the recognition and nomination. So thank you guys.
Although the recipient could not make it today, the essential healthcare personnel for 2020 was Dr. Stephen Ardemito, MD. He is an internal medicine specialist and has been practicing in the medical field in San Antonio for 15 years. And our 2020 Frontline Community Responder was Miss Reva Ford. She is an early childhood education teacher at Keebner Elementary for the Northeast Independent School District, who also cannot attend today. Let's give them all a round of applause. Congratulations to all our recipients, and we thank you for your service. Now I invite Dr. Garcia back to the podium.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Dalvin. Again, congratulations to all of you who came out and are representative here. This is one of the largest crowds that we've had. Yesterday, I had the privilege of being at Lackland Air Force Base, and I've toured some of the other Air Force bases, and it was amazing to watch our military in action. There are so many civilians that are on base that also contribute. I got to meet the ladies that sew all the uniforms, and they were able to, just by scanning everyone, tell you what your size. Needless to say, I didn't stand in line. But long story short, I did get to meet a lot of people, and everyone that I met, the assistant fire chief had mentioned to me that his daughter and he live in Live Oak. And so he was mentioning to me that his daughter started school on Tuesday, and she was so excited to be on campus and get to be part of the college experience. And so we have a lot of people out there that support us. So again, I appreciate you. If we can give a round of applause. Best mayor in Texas. I was this close. Okay, I'm safe. And of course, Ed Simic, who's our council member, who's also here, Ed Wave, and all the other community members who come. Every time we have an event, you're all here strong. So again, congratulations to the recipients, and what a lovely voice. You had me in tears. And of course to the group that's here, the bagpipes, I'm sorry, they're my favorite. You guys were awesome. So this was going over here and represent a couple of the other dignitaries that are here, right, Georgia? All right, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the Nlc Administration who came out to join us. Ms. Veronica Garcia, our Northeast Lakeview College President. Dr. Tangela Dove, our Vice President for Student Success. Dr. Laura Sanchez, Vice President for Academic Success. Mr. William Fanning, Dean for Academic Success. Ms. Tammy Bettis, Dean for Academic Success. Dr. Shante Ricasner, Ms. Julie Kirkland Poyer, Dean of Student Success. We believe this anniversary of 9/11 can be a time of renewal. 20 years ago, we came together across religious, political, social, and ethnic lines to stand as one people to heal wounds, comfort each other, and defend against terrorism. As we face today's challenges of racial tension and violence, immigration policy, struggling families, natural disasters, and continuing dangers of wars and terrorism, let us summon the 9/11 spirit of unity to confront our challenges. Michael Totem will now come back up to the podium to provide some closing announcements.
Currently, the Northeast Lakeview College Library is one of only a handful of libraries across the United States to be given the opportunity by the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City, New York, to display the September 11, 2001, the day that changed the world, poster exhibition on our campus. A series of 14 posters presents in chronological sequence the events of September 11, 2001, the immediate aftermath of the attacks, and the 9-month recovery period, and the ongoing repercussions of 9/11 to this day. Archival imagery, artifact photography, and individual stories accompany explanatory text to give visitors a deeper understanding of a key moment in modern American history. This poster exhibition is currently located within the library of the Northeast Lakeview College Library and can be used. Display will allow visitors to read the text presented on each of the posters up close during library hours on Monday through Thursday from 7:30 a.m. until 9 o'clock p.m., Friday 8 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m., and on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let us pray that the lasting legacy of 9/11 is not fear, but rather hope for a world renewed. None of us will ever forget that day, yet we go forward to defend freedom. The Combined Emergency Services Organization Pipes and Drums for today's instrumental music, and to Miss Yvette Harden for providing the national anthem for our program this morning, and the Office of Student Life for all their hard work and planning. Let's give them a round of applause. As a final announcement, we would like to invite the NLC community faculty, staff, and students to participate in our deputy registered training that will be held later today at 5:30 p.m. on Zoom. Help your fellow Texans register to vote by becoming a deputy registrar. There will also be additional training throughout the month of September, and at the beginning of September, receive these valuable training. Also part of our civic engagements at NLC, we would like to invite NLC faculty, staff, and students to participate in our 2 Constitution Day events on next Thursday, September 16, 2021. At the beginning of the day, there will be a virtual Constitution Day to be held on the Student Life Alamo Experience portal. Then in the afternoon at 2 o'clock p.m. Then there will be a Constitution Day panel discussion on the topic of protecting your right to vote on Zoom. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, welcome.